old. So now I'm going to talk about 3 different things that I use in order to get my phone to ring and keep it ringing consistently during the spring. All right, so really honestly, getting your name out there is the #1 thing you have to do. You have to get your name out there, because if it is your first or second year in business, you are unknown. No one knows who you are, so they don't even know to call you. They don't know that you do pressure washing or gutter cleaning or whatever your business is, because they don't even know you exist. So you have to get out in front of the people who are looking. And so I guess we're going to go right into it. The first thing you're going to want to do is paid advertising. Paid advertising is a great way to get your name and phone number and website, whatever you've got going on, out in front of as many people as possible. But you have to do it wisely, and a lot of folks, I think, under budget what it takes to get the phone to ring. Facebook ads are really, really popular with a lot of people because they work. And because they work, so many people are in them, and you can get a lot of visibility doing that. But you're also going to be in a very highly competitive market trying to get those customers on Facebook. I will say from my experience on Facebook, I've done okay. I've gotten some jobs off of it, but I would say that I'm at about $1 for $1. So every dollar that I put into advertising, I got $1 worth of business. Actually, at the end of the day, I lost money doing Facebook ads because the revenue matched what I was putting in. So all of the cost to do those jobs came out of my profit. So I didn't do a whole lot of it. I think all in all, I'll run them when I need to, but I really don't like doing Facebook ads if I have other options. Another huge platform is Google. Don't know if you've ever heard of that one, but if you are looking to do pressure washing ads on Google, good luck to you. I have not had any luck. I've done both Google ads and Google local services. Both have gotten my phone to ring, but both were extremely expensive, and it really just doesn't match up with the clientele that I'm looking for. Now, I know everybody's on Google, and I really have had a hard time. I have my pricing posted on my website, so I can kind of pre-screen a lot of my customers. So if somebody calls me up and says, hey, how much are you charging? And it matches what I have on the website because they've already gone there, then it's basically just scheduling at that point. But with Google Ads, what I found was it's pay-per-click. So every time somebody clicks on my website and they're just looking for pricing and they get that pricing and they say, no, this guy's too expensive, I still have to pay for that click. With Google Local Services, on the other hand, you only pay per lead, so message or phone call. And what I was finding was people were calling me without visiting my website. And some of those leads were $20 to $60 a piece. And it added up very quickly. It definitely got the phone to ring, but a lot of the people that I was getting calling me were saying, hey, I just need a price on, my house, my gutters, my driveway, and the sidewalk. How much would that be to get done? And I'd give them a price. And they were like, oh my God, like I was thinking like $200 for everything. And I was like, this phone conversation cost me $50. How am I going to do $50 to talk to you and then do all of the work you want for $200 and take up a whole afternoon? So it's really one of those things where I see the value there, but it's just not for my type of pricing structure. I definitely want to run my customers through my website before we ever have a conversation. That way we get the pricing out of the way and the expectation of what I can deliver is already been sold. Angie Leads, I've heard a lot of people use Angie Leads, and I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. For me, it sounds a whole lot like doing the Google Local Services, but instead of having the customer calling you directly, it sends it out to a whole bunch of people who are paying for Angie Leads, and then they all try and jump on that one person all at the same time. So I never tried it. So if you want to, cool, go ahead. But I've heard so many bad reviews. I've heard some good reviews too. So I just never tried it. It's just it doesn't seem like what I want to do. I don't want to be the first one to jump on that phone and pressure somebody into making a sale right away. And you kind of have to do that, because if you're paying for that lead, you have to try and convert that into revenue, or else you're just throwing money away. Nextdoor is really popular, especially among the senior citizen community. Same thing with Facebook. And it is definitely one of those things where I've gotten a lot of work through Nextdoor just by referrals. So I'm assuming that ads would probably do well there too. I just never have put my money in there. I actually, I think that it's a great platform, but I just have not found the value of doing ads through that channel yet. And here comes my bread and butter, print marketing. Print marketing, I'm putting in paid advertising because it costs money to get out in front of people with print marketing. So when I first started out, I was doing flyers or door hangers, and I was walking neighborhoods and putting them on doors. And it worked very, very well to get my foot in the door and to get some of my first customers. I have some of my best customers are still from my first year that I've just gone to every year ever since we started. And it has really made a difference just having those flyers to get my start. It was very cheap. I think it was like $80 for like 1,000 flyers. Don't quote me on that. I just don't remember how much I paid. It was back in 2020 when I got my first batch of flyers. And it was within my budget. I bought 1,000 flyers, and I bought 6 yard signs, because I had no intention on spending a lot of money on yard signs, because they're expensive and you can put them out and they'll be gone the next day. And my advertising budget was almost nothing the first year. So lesson learned on that one. So now I think that my conversion ratio on doing yard signs is about $9 of revenue per $1 I spend on yard signs every year. So you betcha I've always got yard signs in the garage and ready to go, because when things start to slow down, like right now, I'm not putting out any signs. I'm not advertising in any way because I'm booked out for 3 weeks. This happened last year as well. So I've definitely raised my prices to kind of be more in the competitive zone. And I'm still booking out 3 weeks, even with the higher prices. But when business does start to slow down, I want to have those yard signs ready to go, because I will go put them out at, street corners, intersections, shopping centers, anywhere that I can get them out in front of as many people as I can. That will bring people to me, because when they're looking for it, you need to be available for them to see. Now, of course, 99% of people out there, when they're looking for something, they do just go on Google. And we'll get into a couple free things on Google here in a minute, but I would definitely recommend doing print marketing, those yard signs and the door hangers, and really any way that you can get out in front of people. We do community events in the town of Garner, north of us, and they have worked very well for us. We don't get quite the same return that we do on yard signs, but it's a great way to get out in the middle of everybody. We do like a Halloween event. We are going to be doing some other events this year with them, where we're just out and saying hi to people. We've got a tabling event and we hand out flyers. We actually, the first year we went out and did the Halloween event, we were stuffing a flyer in every single little Halloween bucket, and it was okay. We did pretty well. We got one repeat customer out of it. We go out and do their gutters and wash their house regularly. And we got one other customer. We made our money back off that event. And so far, it has turned into a great revenue stream for us, just because we have a repeat client who has referred us on Nextdoor and Facebook, and we've gotten decent jobs stemming off of that first event. The second year we did the Halloween event, we actually just had the flyers available on the table with some coupons facing up. And, we ended up dressing up like Woody and Jessie from Toy Story, my wife and I, and we had a great time. We were handing out candy, taking pictures with kids and families, and it was really fun. And as people were coming through, they picked up a flyer if they wanted one. If they didn't want one, that's okay. But we still had our banner on the front of the table, and the name Steps Pressure Washing was out there. And seeing us every year will build trust with the people out there. And so I think that just doing little stuff like that, getting out in the community, showing that you're a real person, not just, a name online. It really definitely, it makes a difference with building trust as well. I don't know, that was a bit of a rant. I do apologize, but paid advertising is definitely necessary if you are just getting started out. If you want to get a significant amount of people calling you, you're going to have to spend some money to make that money. Number 2, okay, so this one is everybody's favorite, the free avenues of getting customers to call you, getting in front of those people who are looking for you, and you don't have to spend a dime to do it. And a lot of times when you're getting started, you have a very small advertising budget, so this might be your only way of getting out there. So a few ways of getting that free marketing is an online presence through, a Google business page. When I started out, I, had that day one before we even had a website. I had a Google business page. That way, when people in my area typed in those words, pressure washing near me, I was the first one to pop up after the sponsored ads because I was right down the road for them. So that was a great way of getting in front of the customers, and it made me more profitable for those jobs because I didn't have to spend 30-45 minutes driving to them. It was just down the road, so I used no gas, no wear and tear on the vehicle and trailer, and it was just really quick. I could drive up the road, make a good impression, and then get the job done and get paid. You've got Yelp, and I know a lot of people don't like Yelp. I'm not going to spend money to advertise on Yelp, but I have a free Yelp page that has gotten me some business through the years. I actually just had a call yesterday that I booked a very small job. It hit my minimum, but it was just somebody looking for one side of their house pressure washed and their back patio area cleaned up. So I'm going to go out there and do that in a couple weeks. You also have Nextdoor. You make a Nextdoor page, shows legitimacy. Make yourself a Facebook page, an Instagram page, whatever type of page that you can think of that you don't have to spend money. Go ahead and make yourself a business account with that. Have it available. Have it where people can find you if they are looking. You've got a lot of local Facebook groups, which are getting a little bit harder to get into if you're a business, and are getting a little harder to post in if you're a business. But there are some out there that are just like, hey, and your buy, sell, trade, no rules. So you just put whatever you want on there, and you can put some, you can get in front of a few customers by doing like a every week or every other week post of, hey, I'm, Jeremiah with Steps Pressure Washing. I live here in your neighborhood or your area, and I just wanted to say I'm available. I do this, I'll do that. And maybe throw a little discount in there, like say, hey, I'll offer, $25 off any service booked in the month of May, and you're going to end up with, that free advertising. Even if it costs you $25 to take that discount off, you're not spending $40 to $50 to get a lead through other paid channels. So it is an option. Your standard old door knocking, going house to house, knocking on the door, saying, hey, I'm a person, I'm in front of you, this is what I can do for you. If you're interested, that's cool. If you're not, here's a card, and let me know when you are ready to do it. I will say, though, there are laws on soliciting in most areas, so make sure that you have a permit if one is necessary. I actually did not know that when I started out, that you have to have a permit in some areas to go door to door and knocking, or else you could get a fine, and nobody wants to have to pay for that free advertising if you can help it. And here's one that's pretty cool. It's called the Power 100. The Power 100 is basically just when you have, you're just getting started and you have no idea how to get customers, but you need to get customers quickly. You can go on to your contacts list on your phone and start calling anyone and everyone you know who has a house, who you could do a service for. So if it's, you call your Aunt Sally and say, hey, Aunt Sally, it's your nephew Jeremiah. I started a gutter cleaning and pressure washing business, and I would love to come and pressure wash your driveway, or I would love to come and pressure wash your house, or come clean your gutters. And if you would let me do that, I would do it for free. And if I do it for free, maybe if I do a good job for you, you can do a Google review to pay me with. Or put me on your neighborhood's Facebook group of, hey, this is my nephew. He came out. Here's some pictures of what he did for me. He did such a wonderful job. I highly recommend you use him. And you just go on, and it's called Power 100 because you got to call 100 people. And if you call 100 people that you're calling your boss from when you were 16 years old and say, hey, this is Jeremiah. I don't know if you remember me, but I started a pressure washing and gutter cleaning company. And you got to humble yourself and say, I need you. I need you to give me an opportunity to come out and do some free work for you in exchange for some Google, Facebook, whatever you can do, shout outs. And that also gets your truck out in front of someone's house. Then with your truck in front of someone's house, you can do your 5 rounds, and you can put the flyers on people's doors that say, hey, I just serviced your neighbor at 1776 Independence Drive. You should go check out what I did, and I'm available to do yours as well. And that will actually show a lot more legitimacy. People will call you if they feel that someone they know trusts you. So it is a great way of adding legitimacy to your business, of showing you being out there doing the work and having someone telling other people you're doing a good job. And that's going to kind of cost you some money. It's not 100% free because you will have to pay for, the expenses to do the job. But it's a great way to get out in front of a lot of people really fast and build some legitimacy to your business. Okay, so the third way, and this is probably the most effective way to get anyone to call you, is word of mouth. And we talked about that a little bit in all of the other things that we have done, because it is going to make or break your career, is whether people are saying good things about you or they are saying bad things about you. So word of mouth is everything. So when you are going out and doing these jobs, you should definitely make sure you are being as professional as possible. And being professional as possible should carry over into your personal life as well, because everyone you know is a potential customer and is a potential referral. So if you are not being trustworthy, and people you know and love may love you, but they may not trust you, and they may not trust you to do a good job, you might need to kind of look within on that. But if you are someone that your friends and family trust, they will refer you to everyone they know. As soon as they hear the words, I need to get my house pressure washed, they'll say, I know a person. And that word of mouth means absolutely everything. I will also say that my customers my first year did not refer me as much as my customers in my 3rd and 4th years did. And the reason for that is I had no legitimacy for them. I came out, I did a good job, and I was professional, and that was wonderful. Some people did refer me in my first year. When I showed up my 2nd, 3rd, and 4th time at their house, I not only showed them that I was in business and I could do the job, I also showed them that I wasn't going anywhere. And that's when I started seeing a lot more referrals, was when people started saying, this guy comes out every year and you should use him too. A lot of people don't want to refer a company that they don't know will be in business next year when their friends and family try to use them again. Another part of word of mouth is, I would say, tell everyone. Make it part of every conversation you have. So if you are talking to your friends and family and they don't know you do pressure washing on the side, or you started a pressure washing business, it should definitely be mentioned, because I had a lot of my neighbors in my first year that actually had someone else come out and pressure wash their houses, just because I hadn't taken the time to go out and talk to my neighbors and let them know that I had a pressure washer and I was intending to start a business with it. They would have used my service. They have used my service since then, but just because I was keeping it to myself, they didn't know. So tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell your old teachers, tell your pastor, tell your parole officer, tell anyone that you come in contact with that, hey, I have a pressure washing business. A lot of times when I go out and about, I'll wear my pressure washing uniform so that people will see, hey, this guy does pressure washing. And he comes into CVS, 2-3 times a year, and I remember him. He seems like a nice guy, maybe I'll hire him. When I go out and I get my hair cut, I talk to the person who's cutting my hair and I let them know I do pressure washing. And I'll actually run into those folks at the, Halloween events that we do every year. And that adds some legitimacy as well. They know I've been doing it for years, so why not give them some business cards while I'm there? And they might say, hey, if you need some pressure washing, I know a guy. And it makes every bit of difference, is just talking to people and letting them know I am here, I'm not going anywhere, and if you ever need something or know someone who needs something done, that's me. Whether that's pressure washing, gutter cleaning, driveways, just let them know what you do. And people remember that. And I definitely want to stress that this takes time. When I started out, I was watching all these guys on YouTube that were making $1,000 a day, $1,500 a day. And they were saying, man, all you got to do is do these things, and boom, I exploded. And I've had some weeks and months that I'm just like, I can't believe that I'm making this much money, because, just 2-3 weeks ago, I was making nothing. And getting out in front of the customers is huge, but building a name for yourself takes time. And my wife actually, she reminds me of that all the time when I get a little bit down and I feel like I should be doing better, should be making more money by now, and she's like, this just takes time. And it really does, because I've seen that. My first year, no one knew who I was. My second year, some more people knew. Third year was like gangbusters. I couldn't keep up with it. And now that we're into our fourth year, we're spending a lot less money on paid advertising, because we're staying steadier with our existing clients and referrals from existing clients, and people finding us on Yelp, and people finding us on pressure washing near me on Google. All those little things have started to add up over the years, and now we have an actual client list that is more substantial and is able to carry us through our busier seasons without having to pound the pavement trying to find everybody. So don't get discouraged. Make sure you've got your finances set up to where you can withstand the slower periods and survive long enough to where things start to get easier. That word of mouth starts to carry your business. And I hope that you guys out there right now trying to get up and running have the ability and have the financial stability to be able to outlast some of those guys out there that just aren't doing it. I hope this video helped some of you guys out, and I hope that you don't get discouraged by a slow first year or a slow second year. It does take time. And good luck to you guys out there. Let's go get those phones ringing.